Hey guys, welcome back to CyberPlatter. Today we'll discuss application security interview questions and answers. This is part one of this series. There'll be other parts relating to application security. So if you want to know about more cybersecurity topics like identity and access management, SQL injection, it'll all be in a separate video. There's a playlist. I will link it in the description box. Or if you're interested in other interview series like SOC, EDR, SIM, vulnerability management networking. There is another playlist which I'll link it in the description box. So to start with, question number one, what is application security? Application security is mostly referred to as AppSec. It is the practice of protecting software applications from security threats and vulnerabilities throughout their development lifecycle. The primary goal of application security is to ensure that applications are designed, built, and maintained with security in mind. This reduces the risk of security breaches and data breaches. Let's see some of the key aspects of application security. First one, secure design. Building applications with security principles from the outset, including threat modeling and secure architecture design. Next is secure development. This is using secure coding practices and guidelines to prevent common vulnerabilities such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and others. Next one is testing and vulnerability assessment. That is conducting security testing, including static analysis, dynamic analysis, and penetration testing to identify and remediate vulnerabilities. Next one is secure deployment. That is ensuring that applications are securely deployed, configured, and monitored in production environments. Next one is incident response. That's having a plan in place to respond to security incidents such as data breaches or application vulnerabilities. Next one, secure supply chain. This is ensuring the security of third-party components, libraries, and dependencies used in the application. Next, user and data protection. This is implementing proper access controls, authentication, and encryption to protect user data. Next one, compliance and regulations. This is ensuring the application adheres to relevant security regulations and compliance standards. So, application security is required because applications are a common target for cyber attacks, and vulnerabilities can lead to data breaches, financial losses, reputational damage, and legal consequences. By proactively addressing security concerns throughout the development process, application security helps mitigate these risks and ensures that applications are more resilient to evolving threats. Let's go to the next question. What is OWASP and why is it important? So, OWASP stands for Open Web Application Security Project. It's a non-profit organization focused on improving the security of software. Like the name suggests, it is best known for its efforts in raising awareness about web application security and providing resources, tools, and best practices to help organizations and developers build and maintain secure software. Let's see some of the key aspects of OWASP. First is Resource Hub. It maintains a comprehensive set of resources, including guides, documentation, best practice documents, cheat sheets, tools that help developers, security professionals, and organizations to secure their web applications. You can go to owasp.org and you'll find all the information about OWASP. Okay. Next is Top 10 Project. The OWASP Top 10 is a widely recognized document that lists the 10 most critical web application security risks. It provides guidance on common vulnerabilities such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and security misconfigurations. Next one, educational initiatives. OWASP offers training programs, webinars, conferences, and local chapter meetings to educate individuals and organizations about web application security. These initiatives help raise awareness and enhance knowledge in the field. Next one, Tooling. OWASP maintains and supports a variety of security tools that assist in identifying and mitigating web application vulnerabilities. These tools are open source and widely used in the security community. Next one, community collaboration. OWASP fosters collaboration among security professionals, developers, and organizations to share expertise, develop solutions, and drive improvements in web application security practices. Next is web application testing. So, OWASP projects such as OWASP ZAP, ZAP stands for Z Attack Proxy, and OWASP App Sensor. So, these projects provide valuable tools for web application security testing, vulnerability scanning, and attack detection. Next is security standards. OWASP contributes to the development of security standards and guidelines used by organizations worldwide. This is to ensure the security of their web applications. Next is vendor agnostic. OWASP is vendor agnostic, meaning it does not promote or endorse specific security products or services. It focuses on unbiased, community driven security guidance. Next is global impact. OWASP has a global reach with local chapters and projects worldwide, making it accessible to individuals and organizations in many countries. So, in summary, OWASP is important because it plays a central role in advancing web application security by providing knowledge, resources, and tools to address security challenges and vulnerabilities. Its work helps organizations build more secure software, protect sensitive data, and reduce the risk of security breaches. By promoting best practices and community collaboration, OWASP contributes to a more secure online environment. Let's go to the next question. What is the role of Web Application Firewall, that is WAF, in application security? A WAF plays a critical role in enhancing application security by protecting web applications from a variety of online threats and vulnerabilities. So, its primary purpose is to act as a protective barrier between a web application and the internet. It does this by filtering and monitoring incoming and outgoing web traffic to identify and mitigate security threats. Let's see some of the key roles and functions of a WAF in application security. First one, protection against web attacks. A WAF is designed to defend against a wide range of web based attacks, including cross site scripting, SQL injection, cross site request, forgery, and other common vulnerabilities. They inspect incoming traffic and block malicious requests or payloads. Next one, traffic filtering. They analyze incoming HTTP or HTTPS traffic and filter out requests that exhibit suspicious or malicious behavior. This filtering includes inspecting request parameters, headers, cookies, and more. Next is vulnerability mitigation. WAFs can identify and mitigate known vulnerabilities in web applications by blocking attacks that exploit these vulnerabilities. This helps protect applications even if they have unpatched security flaws. Next is rate limiting and DDoS protection. Many WAFs offer rate limiting and DDoS protection, that is distributed denial of service. They can detect and mitigate excessive or malicious traffic patterns. This helps prevent application downtime due to traffic spikes or malicious attacks. Next one, geolocation filtering. Some WAFs allow administrators to restrict traffic based on geolocation. This can help prevent access from known high risk regions or limit access to specific geographic areas. Next is security policy enforcement. Administrators can define and enforce security policies by specifying which types of requests are allowed and which are blocked. These policies can be tailored to the specific needs and security security requirements of the application. Next, logging and monitoring. WAFs generate detailed logs and reports on web traffic and security events. This logging helps security teams monitor and investigate potential threats and incidents. Next one, incident response. IR. WAFs can assist in incident response by providing information about attack vectors and patterns. They often integrate with security information and event management solutions, that is, SIM solutions, for comprehensive threat analysis. Next one, compliance and reporting. WAFs can aid in compliance with regulatory requirements by helping to protect sensitive data and generating reports on security and compliance status. Next is web application visibility. WAFs provide insights into the behavior and performance of web applications, helping administrators understand how applications are used and accessed. Next one, content delivery optimization. Some WAFs offer content delivery optimization features such as caching and content compression. This improves web application performance. Next one, custom rules and policies. WAFs often allow the creation of custom security rules and policies to address unique application specific requirements or vulnerabilities. So, in summary, a web application firewall serves as a critical component of application security by detecting, blocking, and mitigating web based threats and vulnerabilities. It helps protect web applications from a wide range of attacks, enhance security posture, and provide essential visibility and reporting capabilities to safeguard online assets. Let's go to the next question. What is cross site scripting, XSS? This is one of the items in OWASP top 10. It's a web security vulnerability. This allows attackers to inject malicious scripts into web pages viewed by other users. These scripts can be executed by a victim's web browser and can lead to various malicious actions such as stealing user data, impersonating users, or delivering malware. Let's see an example of a simple XSS attack. Now imagine there is a web application and this web application has a search feature. Users can enter search queries and the application displays the search results on the same page. Suppose if this web application is for ebooks, then I can search any ebook name here and the application will give me the results for that book name. Now imagine that an attacker identifies that the application search box is vulnerable. When users enter search queries, the application echoes those queries in the search results without proper validation or encoding. So there is no proper validation or encoding that is happening in this web application. Now what the attacker does is that they will create a malicious script to be injected into this application. For example, let's say a Java script, and the script could be something like script alert, you have been hacked. So this script will display a pop-up alert with the message you have been hacked when it is executed. So the attacker enters this malicious payload into the search box as a search query and submits it. The application reflects the payload in the search results without proper validation or encoding. Now when a legit user visits the website and decides to perform a search, they enter a search query and the application displays the results on the same page. As part of the search results, what happens? The attacker's payload is displayed now to that user, okay? And when the user's browser encounters this script, it will interpret it as a code and executes it. In this case, it triggers a pop-up alert which says you have been hacked. So what is the consequence of this? The user is now presented with a pop-up message they did not expect, and the attacker has demonstrated that they can execute arbitrary code in the user's browser. In a real-world scenario, the attacker could use this vulnerability to steal user cookies, capture sensitive data, or perform more malicious actions. So now you know how this can be dangerous. Let's move on to the next question, which is related to cross-site scripting. How to prevent cross-site scripting? First is input validation and output encoding. So, like I mentioned before, this website was vulnerable because there was no proper validation or encoding. So, let's talk about that. Input validation is ensuring that all user input is validated and sanitized. Only allow input that conforms to expected patterns, like for example, valid email address. If you're asking for birthdays, make sure it is only numbers. Or you can give a Dropbox menu where the user can select only from them. Like suppose if it is a month, you can give a Dropbox till Jan to December and they cannot enter anything and get only these, right? So output encoding is to encode or escape user generated content before rendering it in the browser to prevent the execution of malicious scripts. So it is nothing but ensuring that the content generated by the users is displayed safely on a web page. It involves taking any text or data provided by users and converting it into a format that the web browser understands as plain text rather than executable code. Another security measure against XSS is content security policy. So you can implement content security policy headers in your web application to define which sources of control are trusted and which are not. This helps prevent the execution of scripts from untrusted sources. Next one, use of secure libraries and frameworks. Make sure that these have inbuilt protection against XSS. Modern frameworks often provide automatic escaping of user generated content. Next is HTTP only and secure cookies. Set the HTTP only and secure flags for cookies to prevent them from being accessed via JavaScript and to ensure that they are only transmitted over secure HTTPS connections. Next one is content security policy report only. Use CSPRO to enable reporting of policy violations without enforcing the policy. This helps you identify and address potential security issues. Next, conduct regular security testing, including both static analysis and dynamic analysis, to identify and mitigate potential XSS vulnerabilities. Next one, escape user generated content. So, whenever you insert user generated content into HTML, JavaScript, or other contexts, make sure to escape it properly. Use appropriate encoding functions provided by your programming language or framework. Next is to implement security related HTTP headers such as XSS protection, which can help prevent some types of XSS attacks. Next is update dependencies, that is to keep all libraries, frameworks, and components up to date to ensure that known vulnerabilities are patched promptly. Next is to educate developers about secure coding practices, including the risks associated with cross-site scripting and how to prevent it. So these are the prevention methods that you can use. Let's move on to the next question. This is also related to cross-site scripting. Name some types of cross-site scripting attacks. First is stored XSS. Here the malicious script is permanently stored on the target web server and it is served to users when they access a specific web page or resource. Next type is reflected XSS. The malicious script is embedded in a URL or input form. So the one that we discussed in the fourth question, right? This one is an example of reflected XSS. So the malicious script is embedded in a URL or input form and it is reflected off a web server to the user's browser, typically as part of an error message or search query. Next is DOM based XSS. DOM is document object model. This attack occurs on the client side, where the client side script manipulates the DOM to execute malicious code. So these are some of the types. Let's go to the next question. Explain the concept of clickjacking and how it can be prevented. It is also known as UI redress attack or UI redress vulnerability. UI is user interface. It's a web security attack where an attacker tricks a user into clicking on something different from what the user perceives. This can cause them to perform actions they did not intend to. Clickjack can lead to various security threats, including the theft of sensitive data, unauthorized actions on behalf of the victim, or the spread of malware. Let's see how clickjacking works. First, an attacker creates a malicious web page or injects code into a legitimate website. Next is the malicious page or code includes hidden elements such as buttons or links, okay? These are layered on top of legitimate content. Next is that the victim is lured to visit the malicious page, which might be disguised as a legitimate site. Or the attacker might also entice the user to click on a seemingly innocent element. Next step, when the victim clicks on the content, they can see, like for example, say there is a play button on the website or any image. There is just an image and the user clicks on it. They are unknowingly interacting with the hidden malicious elements. So this is how clickjacking works. Now let's see how clickjacking can be prevented. What are the countermeasures? First one is X-frame options header. Web servers can send an X-frame options header in their HTTP responses, instructing browsers not to display the page in a frame or iframe. This can prevent attackers from embedding the site in a frame. Next is a properly configured CSP, that is content security policy, can mitigate clickjacking by controlling which domains can embed a website in an iframe. It allows web administrators to define a policy that prevents unauthorized framing of their site. Next one, developers can include frame busting JavaScript in their website pages. This code detects if the page is being loaded in an iframe and can redirect the user to the top level page or take other protective actions. Next is enabling the X content type options header with the value no sniff can prevent the browser from interpreting files as something other than what their content type suggests. Next is clickjacking protection in UI. That is to implement security measures in the user interface, such as alerting users when they are leaving the current page or providing visual cues to indicate that an action will be taken. Next one, security aware developments. That is, developers should be aware of the potential for clickjacking and implement proper coding practices to ensure their websites do not fall victim to such attacks. By implementing these measures, website owners and developers can protect their sites from clickjacking attempts and ensure that users interact with web content as intended. Let's move to the next question. Explain the importance of secure file uploads and how to implement them. Secure file uploads are crucial for web applications that allow users to upload files. Failing to implement secure file upload mechanisms can lead to various security risks, including the execution of malicious code, unauthorized access, and data breaches. First, let's talk about the importance of secure file uploads. First is preventing malicious code execution. When users upload files, there is a risk that the files may contain malicious code, such as viruses or scripts. Secure file uploads ensure that uploaded files are properly validated and sanitized to prevent the execution of malicious code. Next one, protecting sensitive data. File uploads may include sensitive data such as personal information or proprietary documents. Ensuring the security of uploaded files is essential to protect this sensitive data from unauthorized access or exposure. Next is preventing denial of service attacks. Malicious users can perform DOS attacks by uploading large or numerous files, overwhelming the server's resources. Secure file uploads include controls to prevent these types of attacks. Next is data integrity. Secure file uploads ensure the integrity of uploaded files, making sure that they have not been tampered with during the upload process. Now let's see how to implement them. First is file type validation. Limit the types of files that users can upload to only those that are necessary for your application. Check file extensions and use content type detection to verify the file type. Do not solely rely on client side validation as it can be bypassed. Next is file size limits. Set maximum file size limits to prevent users from uploading excessively large files that could overwhelm your server. Next is file renaming. Rename uploaded files to prevent overwriting existing files and to mitigate directory traversal attacks. Avoid using user provided file names. Next one, secure storage. Store uploaded files in a location separate from the web root to prevent direct access. Ensure that the storage directory has strict access controls. Next one is anti-malware scanning. Use anti-malware scanners to scan uploaded files for potential threats including viruses and malware. Next one is content disposition. Set the content disposition header to force the browser to download files rather than executing them in the browser. Next is authentication and authorization. Ensure that only authenticated and authorized users can upload files. Implement access controls to restrict file access to authorized individuals. Next is secure transfer. Use secure communication protocols like HTTPS to encrypt file uploads in transit to protect them from interception. Next one is input validation. Validate all user inputs related to file uploads, including file names and descriptions, to prevent code injection attacks. Next, logging and monitoring. Implement robust logging and monitoring to detect and respond to any suspicious or unauthorized activities related to file uploads. Next one, content delivery security. If your application allows the sharing of uploaded files with other users, ensure that access controls are correctly enforced to prevent unauthorized access. Next one, testing. Conduct security testing, including penetration testing and code reviews, to identify and address vulnerabilities related to file uploads. So, by following these practices, you can create a secure file upload process that mitigates the risks associated with file uploads in web applications. Let's go to the next question. Explain the importance of keeping software and libraries up to date for security. So this practice is often referred to as patch management. Let's see the reasons. Vulnerability mitigation. Security vulnerabilities are discovered in software and libraries all the time. These vulnerabilities can be exploited by attackers to compromise the security of a system. Software updates and patches are released to fix these vulnerabilities, ensuring that attackers cannot take advantage of them. Next one is risk reduction. Outdated software and libraries represent a significant security risk. Attackers actively search for known vulnerabilities to exploit. By keeping software up to date, you reduce the attack surface and the risk of falling victim to known preventable threats. Next is data protection. Updating software is crucial for protecting sensitive data. When vulnerabilities are exploited, data breaches can occur, potentially leading to the exposure of confidential or private information. Regular updates help prevent data breaches. Next is malware prevention. Outdated software is a common entry point for malware. Attackers often use known vulnerabilities to inject malware into systems. By keeping software up to date, you reduce the risk of malware infections and the potential for system compromise. Next is compliance requirements. Many industries and organizations have specific compliance requirements that mandate keeping software up to date. Failing to do so can lead to non compliance, legal issues, and financial penalties. Next one, stability and performance. Updates are not only about security, they often include bug fixes and performance improvements. Outdated software may suffer from stability issues and reduced performance, impacting the user experience. Next one, system and network security. The security of the entire network can be compromised if one system is left unpatched. Attackers can use a compromised system as a stepping stone to attack other systems or launch attacks on the network itself. Next one is protection of customer trust. In the case of businesses and organizations, maintaining the security of their systems and data is essential for maintaining the trust of customers and stakeholders. Data breaches and security incidents can lead to reputational damage and loss of business. Next is proactive security. Regular updates and patch management demonstrate a proactive approach to security. This approach minimizes the chances of unexpected security incidents and provide a more robust defense against emerging threats. Next one is long-term sustainability. Up-to-date software is likely to be supported and maintained by the vendor or the open source community. This ensures the long-term sustainability and support of the software. This also reduces the need to rely on outdated and unsupported versions. So, in summary, keeping software and libraries updated is a fundamental practice in maintaining the security, integrity, and reliability of systems and applications. Neglecting this critical task can lead to security vulnerabilities, data breaches, and a host of other security and operational issues. Next question. What is the difference between security patches and security updates? A security patch is a specific piece of code or software update that is designed to fix a known security vulnerability or issue in a software application or system. A security update is a more comprehensive package of changes that include security patches but may also include other updates such as bug fixes, feature enhancements, or performance improvements. The primary purpose of a security patch is to address a particular security flaw, typically one that poses a significant risk to the system's security. These flaws could be the result of coding errors, misconfigurations, or the discovery of new attack vectors. So, while security updates include patches for known vulnerabilities, they have a broader purpose addressing various aspects of the software's functionality and stability. Security updates aim to maintain the overall health and security of the software or system. Next, security patches are usually focused on addressing the identified vulnerability or issue. They are typically smaller in scope and size than a full security update or software update. Security updates cover not only security related changes but also general maintenance and improvements. They are often released as part of a regular update cycle, such as monthly or quarterly updates. Now, let's talk about the frequency of patches and updates. Security patches are released on an as needed basis, often in response to the discovery of new vulnerabilities. They are not tied to regular release schedules. Whereas, like we mentioned before, security updates are typically released on a regular schedule, such as monthly or quarterly, to provide a holistic update that includes security patches and other enhances. So, that's the difference between security patches and security updates. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this video helped you understand a little bit about application security. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. It will help us a lot. I will see you in another video on application security with more questions. Until then, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye bye.